go live. Here we are. We're live on Facebook, live with my favorite buddy, Peggy Doviak, our finance guru, and trying to bring our people on Instagram in who don't seem to want it. There we go. Finally, it always takes
I was
me.
going to say, everything's there.
Yes, there's the usual Sheila looking every which way. What is she doing? But we all know how that goes. So now we're going to just look and hope some of our gang joins us here for our great conversation. I am really excited. For those of you who have hung out before and done some sessions with Peggy and myself, you know that Peggy is our resident financial guru, and she has been on. We've had you on several times now, haven't we?
I know. You're so kind.
And it's just been great, to be able to have you on board to help us. So I'm going to looks like we do have some bodies who have joined us. So I'm very happy. I'm not seeing you on my little Facebook thing, but I'm sure some bodies will pop up at some point. So say hi as you come on. Let us know where you're coming from. It's been really fun. We've seen people coming from all over the country when we've done these things in the past. And we've got Peggy on today, not as a finance expert, but as a mystery writer. And how you can write a mystery is a mystery to me, because those are so complex and complicated and hard to write. I cannot begin to tell you. So I'm very impressed that you're even able to do that. But so greetings to everyone. We're going to be talking with Peggy in a minute. But first, I want to show you some goodies that I have. Many of you who have been following me on Instagram and Facebook know that we have been traveling. And I told you I was going to bring back some gifties. So we're going to be drawing for some gifties. I see Nancy's here, some of our great regulars. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Katrina. Hi, Marta. And hi, Susie. Yeah, Susie's from not too far from where we live, kind of a little. But anyway, I'm going to show you, ladies, what we've got. So I brought back scarves from Paris. Whoopsie, I got to go this way, don't I? That they're not showing well, but there you go. You get the idea. There's one. And then I've got, I should maybe back up from the camera. I don't know what I'm doing. And this is really pretty. It's kind of lavender purple one. And then this is kind of a funny little, but anybody's going to be doing some entertaining soon? How about these cute little napkins from Deutschland? So those are going to be our little giveaways. We will be picking a winner here. I'm going to try and maybe even do this as we're talking. Meeny, meeny, miny, mo. Gerhard is usually on hand helping out, but he started college day for his students as a professor, and he has been a busy guy and had to run errands, and I told him I was going to let him off the hook. So little Sheila is on her own trying to manage everything. We'll see how little Sheila does. Anyway, but hi to everybody else coming in. I see Amy's here. Hi, Amy. And happy Monday to you too. And I hope some of you did follow along as I was posting our travel adventures. We had a lot of fun. But we're going to have a lot of fun tonight talking with Peggy, who is really interesting. Before we even came on, we were talking about the whole writing thing. And I'm like, Peggy, I mean, you're the money lady. What on earth? And Peggy told me, what did you tell me there, girl?
I told you I was an English teacher for 10 years, and wow. I have a master's in creative writing that I earned 100 years ago.
Wow. That's so doggone
So
incredible.
Really, I kind of just came back to where I started from.
That's pretty, I mean, that means like both sides of your brain work. So I'm really impressed. Most of it, I was telling Peggy earlier.
Every once in a while, but it's shaky. It's super shaky.
I don't know. I'm impressed. I told her I'm so lame with money. But back in college, the way I balanced my checking account was I closed it. That took care of that. So so she writes, she does money. There's nothing she can't do. And she's a horse.
In college with my creative writing friends who were really not very money oriented, I was the only one who could calculate tip. So I'd take everybody's bill and tell them how much they needed to leave for tip. And that was the clue that I was going to do something with money someday.
And she's just earlier telling me, and I did this is how I calculated, Jim. Blah, 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 blah. And I went, okay. I mean, when we were driving, I couldn't even calculate. I couldn't switch from kilometers. There were so many kilometers to miles. And I don't know how many times the guys explained, just do this and this and this. And I thought, can I just add 15? They're like, no, you can't just. I'm like, I can't do this. Forget it. I don't care how fast we're going. I'm not driving. So I don't care. Oh my goodness. But so, yeah. So I'm so impressed with our brilliant Peggy here, who just does it well. And hi to Chelsea, who's joined us, to Deborah. Hi, Kathleen. So nice to see some of you who were able to make time to hang out with us and hear about Peggy's new writing adventure here. But first of all, I want to circle to the horse thing. I don't know how many of you guys, have any of you seen her author pictures? They are so adorable. They're just darling. And you're quite the horseman. Have you always ridden horses?
I have not. She's totally a midlife crisis. She is a gift from my best friend, and my best friend's a fabulous barrel racer. And so she had this great broodmare out in the pasture. And then there was a horse next door, and his only claim to fame was the ability to jump a fence twice. And so here came little Miss Magnolia. And because she wasn't papered, my friend didn't want to put a lot of money into training her. And I had forever said, I want a horse. And so she said, okay, I'm going to give you a horse. And so I
Oh,
got Maggie in, I think it was 2008. It was either that or the very end of 2007. And so when I got her, she was super young and she wasn't broke and I couldn't ride. And then I bought a truck to take the horse you couldn't load in a trailer and realized I also couldn't drive the truck. So I had a truck I couldn't drive and a horse I couldn't ride. So we grew up together. And so, if you're going to learn to ride a horse, if you learn younger, you're not quite as scared. So I wouldn't call myself a fabulous horsewoman, but I just love it. And I love her. And we had so much fun with that photo shoot. And she likes getting her picture taken. And so it was a super amount of fun. And yeah, I've had her now for what? That would be 17, 18 years. So
wow.
yeah.
That's so cool. And those pictures are gorgeous. If you guys, Peggy, what's your website so they can go and see the pictures?
My website is peggydoviak.com, which you can also, if you've been following the finance site, it's askpeggy.com. It goes to the same place. And then my Facebook author page is Peggy Doviak author. And so you can see a lot of those horse pictures there as well.
Wow, that is so cool. And by the way, somebody was just asking, is this your first mystery? And I think that needs to bring us around to your writing journey because this is basically, right? I don't know
Oh,
how you
it's
do.
absolutely my first mystery. It is. And my first foray into fiction since 1990. And so it all came, I am a huge Hallmark Murder Channel fan. So I like my Hallmark best when there's a body somewhere in it. And so I'd watch it and it's like, why can't we have a financial planner do it? Bakers are great and matchmakers are great, but we need a financial planner. I finally decided to write it. And so I started in, I've played at writing forever, and I've been in the writing community with the nonfiction. And I have to tell you, I'm a pantser, and a pantser doesn't outline.
A mystery. You did not pre-plan a mystery. How
I did
on earth
not.
did you do that?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. I got about 7/8 through, and I had no idea who the killer was. And so I stopped and I started reading books on craft because I also knew the writing wasn't good. It was like, okay, yeah, this is a little easier on the TV than it is to do in real life. It's been a long time. So I read craft books, I read cozies, I learned how to outline for about 9 months. And then I came back to it and I threw away the second half of the book, just threw it in the trash because it was
Wow.
terrible. And I knew where it was okay, and so I kind of picked up from there and incorporated everything that I had done to study for the last 9 months, and this time I knew who the killer was, and I knew why they had committed the crime, and the second time around, it was a million times better, but yeah, the first time, you can't say there's no such thing as bad words because, yeah, there were about 10 chapters of bad words, and I just threw them in the trash and started over again.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. I mean, and of course, I remember talking back to you way back when you were working on it, and it just sounded like such a fun idea. And I think, did you have some more books planned
I
after
do.
this?
And so the reason my Maggie gets to be in all of the fun promo stuff is the heroine, who is a financial planner, has a horse. And her horse's name is Agatha, and Agatha might be helping solve the murder, or maybe she's just scratching a fly. We don't really know. So Agatha doesn't talk. Agatha isn't psychic, but Agatha does seem to have a really good concept of what's going on. So
Oh,
that's how I got to do it. So yeah, this just came out. It came out a week ago today. And so I'm absolutely thrilled with having it out. The second book in the series has been accepted. So when you look at the cover, it says a Magnolia Hill series. Um, there wasn't a series when I put that on the cover.
my
That
goodness.
would be called that would be the definition of speaking things that are not as though they were. But the publisher has accepted the second mystery. The working title of that is so this is You Can't Cheat Death. The next one is You Can't Bury Death. And right now I'm working on You Can't Outrun Death.
I think you being a financial person, there should be a title, You Can't Buy Death.
Oh,
That's
oh,
what I'm saying.
we'll do that for book 4.
Well, there you go. By the
Yep.
way, Katrina said she would definitely recommend reading your book. Would you
Oh,
hold up the cover again so we can all see it?
I will. It's really, really
Very,
pretty. Sorry, I've got a zoom light so I don't look dead. So I'm gonna have
very
to kind of work
funny.
it so you can. There it is.
That is so cute. Is there a
Oh,
horse?
and the cover artist from Wild Rose Press was amazing. They designed the cover. They've been lovely, lovely, lovely to work with.
Was there a horse? What's in the was there a horse in the pasture? What's in the pasture?
No, there's not. It's just
Oh.
a whole bunch of wheat and
Well,
looks
I
like some
obviously have
poppies.
not gotten my book yet, but I'm going to. So
No, you're
next
really
year
going.
I am going to. We've been just a little busy traveling,
You've
but
been
now
very busy traveling.
yes, but now that I'm back, that is on my to-do list to make sure that I get a copy of your book because, of course, I
Oh,
want to
that's
support
nice.
you.
So yeah, the financial planner, there's a financial crime and she will solve the financial crime, and there's a murder, and of course she solves the murder. And then in Scottsdale, the Poison Pen bookstore, John Charles at
I
the
love John Charles. I love that bookstore.
So I went there. I was at a conference in Phoenix and I went by to meet him last November because I knew this was coming out. He
Oh,
said, "Why don't you do something with finance at the end of the book rather than doing a recipe?" Because I had thought I had to do recipes, right? Because everybody does recipes and cozies. He said, no, he said, give financial tips at the end of the book. So I have recipes for financial success at the end of the book. That was all John Charles' idea. And it let me clear out a lot of the boring parts that people don't like to read about money, and then just put them in the end. So if you don't want to read the tips, you sure don't have to. They don't have anything to do with the book other than it plays a role in the plot. But it
yeah,
gives you an opportunity to learn a little bit more too.
that's a great bonus. I mean, anytime we
It
can.
was it was really neat. I thought it was a great idea. And
Oh,
so, yeah,
yeah.
it's set in Oklahoma in a small town that looks kind of like a hybrid between where I live and 2 other towns. And it's been super fun, and it's been super fun writing a book that people are so excited about reading.
Oh, yeah. No, I think that's great. And it sounds like it's getting good reviews. People
It,
are
it's
enjoying it. That's
it's
huge.
getting good reviews. Yeah, I'm now seeking reviews on Amazon so that Amazon loves me more, and my publisher loves me more. So, but no,
And
I'm
you
just
guys all know the drill on that, right? When you do read a book, read a review. Even if it isn't a glowing stellar review, you find something nice to say, but always leave a review because it does help the author. It helps keep our careers going, frankly.
Mhm.
Because if you end up in obscurity, then you end up unemployed. So our
Yeah.
authors really do appreciate getting those reviews. And we do want to support Peggy since this is her first book. And so this is interesting. So you were taught English, you had all these fancy degrees, and yet you went into bookkeeping. So what made you finally decide, okay, really, it's time to write a book now? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna write that fiction.
Well, It just kind of came from aggravation about not seeing out there what I wanted to see.
Mm.
I've read mysteries. I started reading at a really young age. And so I was reading Bobbsey twins when I was very young. And of course, then I went to the Nancy Drews, and then I went to the Agatha Christie, and then I went to Mrs. Polifax. And, it just kept broadening out. So mysteries always been my genre, and cozy mysteries, where the mysteries, there's no overt sex, there's no really bad language, and there's not disgusting violence. So, in a cozy mystery, you happily kill people. You don't talk about all that nasty blood and guts stuff.
No,
But they're my favorite
I like
books.
movies. Those are
Yeah.
fun. And it's funny though. I'm really not a huge mystery reader. I love to watch mysteries on TV, but for some reason I don't like to read. I don't understand what that's about. That I'm not a big book mystery reader, but I watch all the oh crud. Why can't I think of the one? It's this. They're in the States of the British one, and they're in the same county or town, and the 8 million murders there. It's been on forever.
Oh,
Mm.
oh, oh,
It's right at the back of my mind.
yeah.
The Anyway, and they're happily married, and he's got the wife and he's got the daughter, and I can't remember the name of it. And oh, Help Me Somebody, you all know the one. It was a British TV mystery. It was on for years, and it had crazy music at the beginning. This kind of weird little music. Well,
I
anyway,
can't.
whatever
So
that
I've watched
was.
all of the murders she wrote. I've just
Oh,
been
yeah.
an enormous cozy fan forever. And I
Yeah.
think I might have started this during COVID. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I have a little bit more time than I usually do. And
Um,
so I had a little more time, and it was like, this is really what I've always wanted to do. Now, I love my personal finance books. I've got one more. The last one's going to be money for creatives, money for people who are in
oh,
art.
I need that.
Yeah, I have to finish it because I have 2 conferences where I'm speaking about the book. The first one's in March. So TikTok, I've got to get done. But then I think I'm going to stay with the mysteries for a while, because people are really excited about reading it, and it makes it fun. It really makes it fun.
That's great. That is there is so much. Oh, Deborah says, what's the name of the book again?
You Can't Cheat Death.
Yes, you can't cheat. There you have it. And Susie asked, was the thing I'm talking about was on PBS? Yes, it was on PBS. And the minute somebody says the title of that book, I'll remember it. But like you, though, too, we used to watch Murder, She Wrote with our kids. And we'd all try to figure out who done it. And, it's just, and of course, and what was the one with Helen Mirren, too, where she was the policeman? That was on PBS. We
Oh,
probably watched.
yeah.
Um, can't remember the name of these, even though I watched them all. That's pathetic. Oh, well, but anyway, but who cares? Because we're not here to talk about those. We're here to talk about you. So that's just, it's very exciting. So you've just finally decided, okay, I'm going to do this. It's time.
I'm just going to do it. And I did. It's just the further into it I got, it's always smart to figure out you're not doing it right. And so I just stopped. I don't know if I finished it or if I just gave up a couple chapters before the end. It's like, I've got to take the time. It's hard work to write a book, and you've got to deal with dialogue, lots of things that you don't have in nonfiction. And it really helped me a lot. I made myself read 1 chapter from a writing book every day, any writing book. So I read Stephen King's On Writing. And even if you don't like horror, if you ever wanted to write or learn about the mind of a writer, Stephen King's On Writing is just as good as it gets.
Oh, no,
And,
that is an excellent book.
so I did that, and then I let myself read as many cozy mysteries as I wanted to. And so you have to learn the craft.
Well, yeah, Midsummer Murders. That was the one
That's
I
it.
just looked at.
That's it.
Anyway, but yeah, I think, well, in fact, I finally did put up as an ebook, but my one and only mystery I wrote, was called Tourist Trap. I wrote that, I think it was either 5 or 7 different times, each with a different bad guy. I'm like, I can't do this. This is so complex and such a pain in the neck. I'm like, ah.
Oh, I
So
love
I had
puzzles,
to ask
though.
you.
I
It's
love puzzles. I love putting these things together.
okay. All right. Anybody out there love puzzles? Who is like Peggy and loves a good puzzle? And what are some of your favorite mysteries? Let's hear from you on that. Also, don't forget, I'm just going to do a quick reminder, scarves from Paris. I have two of those to give away.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Pick random names. So who likes scarves? And then they have, this is really kind of cute. I just picked up these little, whoops, I've always told them last spot. These cute little package of napkins. They say Deutschland. They have the cute little artwork on them. Those are a couple of things. I do have more goodies to give away, but I'm going to kind of parcel them out. I'm not sure if we're going to have fit in a Christmas party here this year, but hopefully I'm for sure a book birthday party, which may happen on release day for the Merry Matchmaker or may happen the day after. I'll keep you posted. But so we will have more goodies to give away and fun ahead of us, but we could not miss out on hanging out with Peggy because this is a big deal. Our first book, there's nothing like it. First love, first kiss, first book,
It's true.
they're just the best, So I'm so excited for you. And you had a book party yesterday, right? You
I
had
did.
your debut book party. You want to tell us about that?
It was so much fun. It was pouring rain, not dribbling, drizzling, any of it. It was water coming from the sky in huge bucketfuls at a time. And
Yeah.
it still came off really nice. I had a great venue. It's a little art gallery that's the old Santa Fe station in downtown Norman. It's called the Depot. And my friends braved the weather. And so we drank champagne and had snacks and cake that had a picture of my book cover on it. And so, no, it was super fun. And it's really fun to write things that people are excited about reading. I'm going to do the creative book and then I'm going to really stay with this because I,
Then
I
you're really
really,
gonna get
really
in.
love doing this.
Well, I'm glad you're going to do the One More Finance book because I think that's going to be very helpful to people. Then you'll have kind of done your duty because
Yeah,
you'll
well,
have
that'll be 3,
anyway.
and I think 3 is good, and I may come back. I was thinking about writing a children's one, but I really kind of wanna take a break. I've got 3 books I'm working on right now, so I'm
Wow.
ready to only be working on 1 or 2 at a time.
Well, and plus you're still full time
And I'm
working.
full-time, yes.
You're helping people with their finances.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
a
I'm
lot.
a financial planner in real life.
So, you guys, when you stop and think about, I think Peggy, you're a really good example for people about if you really want to make something happen, you can do it. Because a lot of people, you always hear the, well, I don't have time. And I'm thinking sometimes we have more time than we think we do. It's just like, how do you want to spend it? Don't you
It's
think?
so easy to and I get tired. I do. And I come home and it's like, "Oh, I don't wanna do it. I just don't wanna do it." But so I take a little bit of a break, then I usually start in at 9. But I just got back from BoucherCon, which is a giant mystery conference for mystery readers and mystery writers, and I'd had to get up early all week long because they started the sessions at 8 and I was up at 6. I thought,
Yeah.
get up at 6, I could write for an hour before the day started. And what I'm finding is when I can get that done, it's not, you don't feel like you're behind. So, again, if people are trying to write, you've got to find that time of day that works for you. And that time of day, you're kind of stealing a little time when otherwise I could have been sleeping, but I could be up writing instead.
Wow. Well, and that's a lot of energy, even if it's one day a week, though. Really, one of my friends, this was years and years ago, and Saturday, and she worked. And so Saturday mornings that was her writing time. And so
Right.
don't expect her to do anything because she was going to be writing. And
Right.
I think sometimes it's just you pick, here's going to be my time that's for me. And I think for us as women, that can be hard because we
Mhm.
sometimes feel guilty if we take time for ourselves to pursue some of these interests. And ladies, if any of you are considering doing some creative project or something special for yourself, I encourage you, it's okay. Go ahead and allow
Absolutely. Make
yourself
the
to
time
do
to
it.
do it.
Yeah,
Make
yeah,
the time to do it.
for sure, for sure. Somebody asked, where'd it go? Debbie Debbie Tyler said, how do you keep them straight? Debbie, could you elaborate a little? I don't know if you're talking about all her different books, all the different characters, all her different jobs. If you would like to elaborate on that question, I'll try and keep my
Which day of the week it is. I mean, there's a lot of things I have to keep straight.
I know, I know. Oh my gosh. Oh dear. Oh, and Peggy posted, yeah, about Summer at the Saint by Mary Kay Andrews. That was a bit of a whodunit too, and
Yes.
that was a fun read.
That's a
She's a
great
fun
book. Mary
writer
Kay
too.
Andrews is awesome.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So there you go. So I am more of a mystery reader than I am. And I'm looking forward to Peggy's just because I like the finance aspect. I just think that's really cool that you picked this person who's a finance person. That's so
Yeah, well, the nice thing is there isn't another series out there that's quite like this. And so that does make it fun. And it's not heavy. And if y'all don't like to talk about money, yeah, I don't talk about money, so don't let it scare you off. In fact, I had to edit and edit and edit the money out of the book because it was really sloggy in a few places. So
interesting. Well, it's hard to leave that out when it's your area of expertise. I think a lot of writers tend to do that because if you've researched something, and I remember Gerhard and I went around and when he wrote his first book because he'd researched for like 2 or 3 years before he even wrote the book. And he already knew a lot about Germany and history, but it was like, oh, people need to know this and people need to know that. And I'm like, yeah, you're seasoning this. They really want to know your characters. They
they
want
want the story, and like you said, the rest of it's the seasoning.
yeah, the rest of it is seasoning. But it's very hard when you've worked really hard to research something. Say, no, I want to share this thing, and I
Right.
know. So that can be hard to do. But when do you think your next mystery might be out? Do you have an idea?
Well, so they promised the book in a year or less,
Okay.
and I heard back in early August, and they were really good. I had books that I could order a couple months before my release date. Like I said, I've been super, super happy with everything. So
Um,
I'm hoping maybe pre-orders in May, but I cannot promise that.
okay, so we'll have to wait and see how that pans out.
On how
Katrina,
that pans out. I don't have my edits back yet, and it's a good thing I don't because I'm drowning writing everything
you have
else. So
enough to do right now. Anyway,
I do.
by the way, Katrina said that you did a great job of keeping the financial out of the book.
Oh, good. Good, good, good.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate that. And Katrina, thanks for the lovely comments on my social media. I really appreciated that.
Yeah, that's very cool. And you're on Instagram too, aren't you? And on TikTok?
I'm on Instagram under Peggy Doviak, and then the TikTok is Ask Peggy, and I've got to do better at that.
It's hard to keep all those balls in the air. It
It's hard to
really
keep the balls in the air, and I've let
is.
TikTok really slip, and I like TikTok. I think it's fun, but I've got to get back on it a little bit more.
I do
So
too. Sometimes
what was the question about what I could keep straight? Did
I
she
didn't see another post. I keep
Well,
looking,
so
but
the way you keep your book a character straight, what I did, and I got really lucky to find this early on, is you create something called a Bible. And that Bible has all of your characters and all of their descriptions and all of your places and all of the descriptions. And you make sure you lay the town out the same every time you talk about it. But there's some software it's free. And then when it's not free, it's super cheap called Campfire. And Campfire, you create your character, and then that creates a hyperlink when you type the name in the manuscript. So if you need to remember what color the character's eyes are, you click on the hyperlink and the data opens beside you on the page. And so it makes it super easy to keep that straight.
and what's it called?
Campfire.
Hmm. I might have
And
to look
so
into
you
that.
create your characters, you create your places. I'm outlining book 3 in my
Whoa,
scene.
you.
I outlined book 2 within an inch of its life, and I'm outlining book 3 even more. I tend not to put in enough description, I think. And so I said I write postmodern cozies because they're cozies with absolutely no description in them. And so I'm working on my scenes. So and they're not postmodern by the time they come out, but boy, I have to add it in. So I'm working hard. I want book 3 to be a little longer. I would like for it to be maybe 25 or 30% longer than the first two books that I've written. So it's always a work in process.
It is. With you, I've never been, I've always been short on description. I've always been sent back to the drawing board. Even when I was when my critique group, they're like, could we have a little more description? I'm like, no, I just want to get on with the story. I want to tell you
Oh,
about.
that makes me feel so good because your stories have beautiful description.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's
No, I love the fact that you don't put it in on the first draft.
no, it's just, I think I'm getting better at it over the years, but it's just, we all have our weaknesses as writers and things that we have to work at doing. And for me, I think that's one of them. And again, keeping details straight. I think I know I shared this at one point with you all, but one of my earlier books, I actually love that book. That was called Small Change. And that was my little, I think I'm such a finance expert on how to save money. And everybody's like, you're not a finance expert. And no, we're not going to publish your nonfiction idea. But so I did this fiction book. And one of the characters in it, I got this email one day from a reader. She goes, Sheila, I'm a little confused. In one part of the book, Rachel has a deadbeat sister, who's got money issues. And in the next, she's an only child. And I'm like, well, what can I say? Something mysterious happened to her sister, obviously.
It's a mystery. You wrote a mystery.
Oh, golly. So there's always something. And thank you, readers. So many of you are always so gracious. And usually people will find things and kind of send me and oops, here's a boo-boo here. And it's like, okay, we'll catch it the next time around because, once the book is out, and
it's out.
The interesting thing, and Peggy will tell you this too, we go over our books more than once, and we have editors, we have copy editors, we have all these eyes on books, and still things could get by. And I think the eye just gets busy. You all fall into the story, and then little things sneak past you. So,
they do.
Guys, I guess give us grace if you find boo-boos in the books because sometimes they're going to be there. I have to laugh. Debbie said, I have a hard time keeping characters straight even when I'm reading.
There is an author, Rita Mae Brown, who does the Sneaky Pie Brown's mystery. She at the beginning of the book gives you the description of all of the characters. And then as they go through book to book to book, some of her characters have some very major changes. And she updates the bio so that it gives you kind of this chronology of how the characters are adapting too.
Wow.
It's neat. It's super neat.
That sounds like so much work, but it's a great idea,
Right.
So, thank you, Deborah. She said she just ordered the book.
Oh,
can't wait to start reading it.
Thank you. Yeah,
So
it's
sweet.
available on
you
Amazon, or you can have Barnes & Noble order it, or your favorite bookstore can order it. Or Target and Walmart, I think, can order it too.
Never be afraid to ask. And you know what? Never be afraid to ask your library if they can get the book in, because the libraries can get requests from readers and they can fulfill those requests too. So, but thank you for that, you guys. All of those of you who are supporting Peggy and ordering a copy of the book, that is really appreciated because it is a tough business and it's hard when it's your very first book. It's so exciting and you want it to do well and you just never,
you never know.
No. Nancy says, I used to make corrections in the books, but that was many decades ago when I was in high school. I'm a little OCD, I think. Oh, that's funny. And it is, and boo-boos do jump out at you. I mean, bad grammar jumps out at me. I hate it when people mix their tenses, their past and present tense together in one sentence. It makes me crazy. I'm going, are any of us getting any grammar lessons anymore in school? I don't know. But again, a lot of things are just getting by, and editors are so busy and so swamped that it's just like, oh, well, you have to go with the flow and enjoy the story.
That's right.
And Carolyn says, your vacation looked great. Thanks for sharing the pictures. Needs to go. So goodbye, Carolyn. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
No, Sonia had to leave earlier too, so I said goodbye to her. And we're going to wrap it up here. But Peggy is going to give away. I've been doing eeny, meeny, miny, mo as we've been going through this. And so I have picked some readers here. I have picked for the scarves, Amy Ikari and Vicki Baldwin are going to be getting scarves. So congratulations on that. And Susie Baldwin, I hope you're ready to do some entertaining because you, my little nearby buddy, are be going to get the napkins. And I picked a winner for Peggy's book.
Yay.
If I can read my writing, Karen Conlon Clegin, Klegin. Am I murdering your last name? I hope not. I mean, we're talking murder mystery, but I don't want to murder names. I'm going to try and make sure I will post our winners here as soon as we are done. And I will try and find it. There ends up being a lot of comments to scroll through, and I got to find you and message you that you won. So I hope you're paying attention. I will try and find you and properly let you know. Again, here are our winners: scarves, Amy Akari, Vicki Baldwin, and then Susie Baldwin, napkins, and Karen, I'm just going to say the last name, Clegin, Klegin. You guys are the winners. You need to message me your snail mail addresses so that we can get your goodies to you. Okay, so those will go out at some point soon, and be sure to let me know. And wishing Peggy all the best. I hope this continues.
Oh, and Sheila, thank you so much. So much. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you.
Well, it's been lovely. It's always so much fun to talk with Peggy. By the way, you guys, I know I've talked about this before. Y'all know that Peggy and I are doing this readers cruise in February, right? We are going to be cruising the Caribbean, and I don't remember the dates off the top of my head. Middle
Middle
February,
of February.
February.
It is.
Yeah, Peggy, of course, because she's organized. She's got the info. But it's a no host readers cruise, as in nobody's responsible for whether you have a good time or not, but we are going to make sure you have fun. If you're hanging out with us, Peggy and I have rented something or other. What is that thing? A big fancy thing?
It's an over the water cabana.
Over the water cabana, and we are going to be in there playing games and horsing around and looking at fish and getting served fabulous food. And so, guys, it's not too late. Message me if you would like information on that, and I will send you to the travel agent who was getting the rooms. I suspect the block of rooms she reserved is gone, but I think you could still get.
I think you can still get. This is so funny because it doesn't have the dates of the. Here it is. February 9th through the 16th. It's the 7-night Eastern Caribbean and perfect day. That's the perfect day at Coco Key. And we are on the what is the name of the ship? It's the
princess one, right?
Symphony of the Seas?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. And
I think it's a really cool ship. So if you guys have wanted to take a cruise, and I've ordered visors, and since I needed a new slogan because financial planning and murder doesn't have anything in common. So I've got a new logo that's money and murder. And so I'm getting
I love that. Oh, that's so cute.
So I've got visors made up for everybody who's going on the cruise, all of the readers, all of the authors, and everybody gets a money and murder visor.
That is too cool. And we have made one of my fabulous street teams, Lori, has designed some fabulous T-shirts for my buddies who are coming. It's going to be very, very fun. And Maisie Yates is coming on that with us. And I need a brain transplant. My mind just went away from me. One of my good friends, and it's gone. I'm so sorry. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of us going. I think I need a nap. Am I still jet lagged? That's gonna be my excuse.
You know what? You have to be, because you're just barely back.
Oh my gosh, I'm just barely there, but I'm here and trying. Anyway, it will be fine. Yeah, Megan Crane. But there's another one. This is ridiculous. I'm embarrassed for myself. But anyway, there's a bunch of us going.
It's going to be fabulous.
And so that's that. Anyway, thank you all for joining us tonight. And there'll be more fun and excitement coming over the next few months. I've got some more fun writers lined up. We're going to be doing Melinda Curtis. Thank you, Deanne. I'm sorry, Melinda. That was just no excuse for that little brain blip. But yeah, Melinda is just adorable and really nice. And so it's going to be a great time, and it's going to be great fun. So maybe we'll see some of you on the high seas. If not, Peggy, of course, will be back. We already have plans for the future for some more fun things to do together. But that's it for tonight, one and all. And
thank you so much. And thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it very, very much.
Thank you all for coming. We appreciate you all so much as readers. Just love you all. And we will see you soon.